everyone, and welcome to Eating Greens Meatless Monday. I'm PJ with ZooFit. This week we're going to be making a sweet potato vegan nacho with chili. And so again, the chili and the cheese is going to be vegan. Now you can substitute with some dairy cheese if you like, but again, for Meatless Monday, let's try and keep it down to the beans, bean chili. But also, if you like to go up a notch, make that vegan cheese dip that I showed you a couple of weeks ago. I'll bring the link down below in the description for our vegan cheese. And then again, using sweet potatoes instead of the fried or corn chips, making it a really delicious, really nutritious vegan Meatless Monday meal. Alright guys, here's the ingredients you're going to need for your sweet potato vegan chili nachos. And so the first thing, of course, is going to be sweet potatoes. I've got a couple of organic sweet potatoes here. If you like to make a little bit more, by all means, you can use more than 2 sweet potatoes. You're going to want some olive oil, 2 tablespoons of olive oil that will be divided. We'll be using for both drizzling over the sweet potatoes and a little bit later. We're going to need 1 to 2 cloves of garlic, and then if you'd like to, you can add some onions. That's what we're going to stir fry those. I don't particularly care for onions, so I'm just omitting it from my recipe. But if you like onions, you use about a half an onion for the stir fry. You're going to need a can of pinto or whatever beans that you like. And you're going to need 1 tablespoon of Mexican spice mix. And the Mexican spice mix is a mix of paprika, cumin, chili powder, and parsley flakes. Again, really delicious for nachos. I make them with my chips. Even sprinkle it on top of salmon is really good too. You're going to need a tablespoon of tomato paste, 1 cup of vegan cheese. And again, I've made that earlier. There's 1 avocado. And then you're going to need about a 1/4 cup of cilantro, and this I got from Imperfect Foods. So I've got a great service too, getting great organic foods at a really good price. Also a juice of 1 lime, and if you don't have a lime on hand, using bottled lime juice, it'd be about 1 to 2 tablespoons based on your preference. And then the only other ingredient that's also not on here is a tomato. That again, just for preferences. If you'd like to add a tomato and dice it up and then top it off after we've cooked the nachos, that's perfectly fine too. But that's what you're going to need for our sweet potato vegan chili nacho. Alright guys, first task is to prepare the sweet potatoes. So let's scrub them up really good, especially if you have those organic sweet potatoes, getting all the dirt off. We don't need to skin them because we want the skin on them for the chips. And then we're going to thinly slice them into those chip forms. So if you have a mandolin, that is great. You can use the mandolin to slice up your sweet potatoes. Otherwise, you can just use a really sharp knife, being very careful. And if you have mad skills, this might go a little bit faster, but we're going to be thinly slicing the sweet potatoes into these little thin wafers so that we can make them into our chips. Alright, once your sweet potatoes are thinly sliced, you can throw them into a bowl, and then we're going to add 1 tablespoon of olive oil and mix it up or toss it with our sweet potatoes to lightly coat the sweet potatoes. And then we'll add them to a baking sheet and throw them into the oven, and we're on our way for our sweet potato nachos. Alright, so I do like to use the silicone baking sheets because they are reusable, they're washable and then reusable, but you can use parchment paper, you can use aluminum foil, anything that you need to cover your baking sheets. What we are going to do, as you can see, is I'm laying these chips in a single row or single pile, not overlapping, and that's just for baking them. we want them to be in a, want them all to be able to get a even bake. So we're going to, for this portion, we're not going to pile them on top of each other. All right, once you have your baking sheet covered with the sweet potatoes, at this point is when I turn on my oven. So I'm going to turn on the oven to 400 degrees and then go ahead and immediately put the sweet potatoes into the oven. All right, so once again, we are not going to turn on the oven until we are ready to put the sweet potatoes in. So this is a great way to conserve energy because the oven is heating, it is cooking while it's heating up. So we can let it get what we call passively bake while it's heating up. So we do need to adjust the time. So 400 degrees Fahrenheit is what I'm setting my oven to. And then I'm going to be cooking it for about 15 to 20 minutes. So I'm going to leave it in for about 20 minutes just to get a little bit crispy. We're going to take them out, flip them over, and put them in for another 15 or 20 minutes at 400 degrees. So while the sweet potatoes are roasting, let's go ahead and get the rest of our recipe ready, our chili. To start off with, we're going to dice up our garlic cloves. Great way to do that is to crush it with the broad end of the knife and then peel it away. And then you can mince it however you desire. Once again, my chopping skills are not the highest, so it may take, if you're like me, it may take you just a little while to chop up the onions. All right, once you have your garlic, not your onion, chopped up, you're going to add 1 more tablespoon to a cooking pot or skillet, your choice. I'm going to use this in a pot just because we're not making with the onion. Now if you're going to make it with onion, you're going to add the onion first. So put it in a skillet, add the last tablespoon of the oil, add your diced onion, let it saute for just a little bit until it's softened and getting translucent, and then add your garlic. So I'm adding my garlic now because I'm not using onion today. We're going to cook these garlic and your onions for about a couple minutes until they start getting really fragrant, and then we're going to start adding the rest of the ingredients. So we're going to rinse and drain your can of beans, and it could be any kind of beans that you prefer. We're using pintos tonight. Pinto beans. But you can use kidney beans, you can use black beans, whatever beans that you prefer for your chili. We're going to put 1 tablespoon of tomato paste, and then a small tablespoon, so not quite a tablespoon of the Mexican spice mix. So once again, that is your cumin, chili powder, and paprika, and I also add some parsley to it. And I'm going to add the juice of half of a lime. And for this, again, if you're not using a fresh lime, you can just use probably about a tablespoon, depending on your taste. I'm going to add just a half of a lime to the chili, and then the rest of it I'm going to do, add just a little bit of water. So again, you can add up to a 1/4 cup if you need to. I prefer just a little bit less, and then mix it around. So I'm just going to add just a little less than a 1/4 cup of water. Mix it around, and then stirring it over medium heat until it's thickened and a nice chili. Alright guys, the oven is still on, but I'm going to set the timer now to only about 10 minutes. The reason for that is I'm going to let this passively bake for another 5 minutes after it is finished with this. So right after this timer goes off, turn off the oven, let it sit in there for another 5 minutes, let it passively bake. It'll be nice and crispy and ready for our chili topping. And while our sweet potatoes are finishing cooking up, one last preparation before we can for making this. You can also do this once the potato chips are done. But we're going to make the guacamole, or the avocado sauce. And I'm going to just slice up an avocado, one avocado, and put it into a bowl. So after I got the avocado into the bowl, we're going to then add the remainder of the lime. So again, half of it went to the chili. The other half is going to help make our guacamole sauce. Once again, if you do not have a fresh lime, you're using bottled lime juice, perfectly fine. Just about one tablespoon will do the trick for this. You got your lime and your avocado in a bowl, and then using a potato masher or fork, I'm just going to mash it up. Alright guys, my chips are done, the potatoes are done, and I've piled them into one container. And now we're going to top them off, put them back in the oven one last time. So what I'm going to do for this, again, all the chili that we've made, so the pinto beans, tomato sauce, and chili, and the Mexican spices, I'm going to just kind of spoon over. And these potatoes are now kind of piled on top of each other, so spread it out. Even layer over the sweet potatoes. And then I'm going to take my 1 cup of vegan cheese and spread that over the sweet potatoes mix as well. Now once again, this is just Meatless Monday, so if you want to use regular cheese, go ahead, it's fine. But again, I'm using vegan cheese that we made, or I've made before with you guys in the past. So you can check out that recipe once again to find how to make your own vegan cheese dip, cheese sauce. It's great for pastas, it's great for nachos as well. And then take a 1/4 cup of cilantro. Now some of you may want to or prefer to do this once with fresh cilantro, or some of you may not want cilantro at all. That's perfectly fine, but about 1/4 cup, I'm going to sprinkle it over. I prefer, for our lifestyle, we like to have cooked cilantro in our meals. So you can do that before again cooking it one last time. You can do it as soon as they are finished, and along with the guacamole. Your choice. Place it into the oven one last time, 350 degrees, for just about 5 to 10 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes. And then you are ready to enjoy your sweet potato vegan chili nachos. All right, guys, we are almost done. Last bit is ready to come out of the oven. We have our delicious looking vegan sweet potato nachos. At this point, we are ready to eat. We're going to have 2 other things if you like. First of all is our guacamole. If you like to have some guacamole on there, you can go ahead and spoon that on. And then also if you like tomatoes. So again, one of the things I'm not using is tomatoes. So you can have a diced tomato, sprinkle that on over it, and then you are ready to eat. Again, these are vegan sweet potato, chili cheese nachos. Again, made with vegan cheese, vegan chili. One caveat, these are not paleo or keto friendly, but they are, again, great for a Meatless Monday meal. Eating green, helping you to eat sustainably for you, delicious, nutritious food for yourself, but also have a better impact on the environment, make it more sustainable for the earth. So this is a great way to eat green on Monday, Meatless Monday. Remember to eat clean, live green, train positive.